There may be no issue that unites the establishment wings of both political parties, other than fighting pointless wars, more than this issue. And here it is. Leaking classified information that hurts the permanent political class is a grave threat to national security. It must be stamped out. But leaking classified information that helps the permanent political class is an act of good faith. Son, you're getting a Pulitzer for that. So there was no problem when the FBI told the Washington Post that that diabolical Vladimir Putin was secretly running our government. That was a lie, but not a problem. Or when the CIA director gave classified information to the producers of Zero Dark 30, because that's Hollywood and they're our friends. But when those leaks implicate the people in charge, oh, it's a national crisis and someone needs to go to jail. And often people do go to jail. Julian Assange, for example, he's rotting away in a prison in London right now. Why? He published information that the U.S. government wanted to keep secret, not to protect us, but to protect themselves. Footage of an American helicopter gunning down 18 people in Iraq, including, by the way, 2 journalists from Reuters. He also publicized emails exposing corruption at the very highest levels of the DNC. Bernie Sanders voters may have been grateful for that. They got completely shafted and wouldn't have known it. Now they do. And that infuriated the people who run Washington. Just to be clear, Julian Assange did not hack servers at the U.S. Army, the Pentagon, the DNC. No, he reported on those servers. That's called journalism, which, by the way, real journalism, not much left, it's all under attack. Trust us. So for doing that, for humiliating both our elected leaders and the media class, Julian Assange's life has been destroyed. He's been locked away for almost a decade. This case is not about espionage. He didn't commit espionage. He's not a traitor. He's not American. This case is about criminalizing freedom of speech. The mother of Julian Assange's children came on this show last year and made that point very succinctly. Watch.
Julian is the foremost, perhaps the foremost free speech campaigner alive in the West, and he's imprisoned. And does the president want that to be his legacy, or does he want to, ensure that the First Amendment survives this trial and survives by, pardoning him and not having this trial?
No one who works on this show ever imagined we'd be where we are now, which is, in effect, defending Julian Assange. But the truth is, we're not defending Julian Assange. We're defending something that is actually under attack, that is actually precious to every American, and that is going away faster than we ever thought it could, and that's the freedom of speech. He reported things they don't like, they threw him in jail. If it happened to him, why couldn't it happen to you again? Speak slowly so we can understand. And if that doesn't convince you, consider the case of another person we've also had on the show quite a bit, a very decent man, by the way, called John Kirikou. He's a 15-year veteran of the CIA. He led some of the military's most important raids in Pakistan during his career, risked his life for the country. But then in 2007, he did something that destroyed his life. He confirmed something on the record that no one else in government was willing to admit at the time, that the U.S. Army was in fact waterboarding, torturing prisoners. Now, you may support that or you may not, but if you're an American citizen who pays for all this stuff, why don't you have a right to know that? Now, the DOJ at the time did not think John Kirikou had committed a crime. What he said was true. He was treated as a whistleblower, which he was, agree with him or not. But 5 years later, the CIA, which was still furious about it, told the Obama administration, which was in the habit of obeying the CIA, to reopen that case and punish John Kirikou. So they did, and of course they found a crime. It's not hard for prosecutors to find a crime when they're bent on retribution meant to encourage the others. So John Kirikou went to prison for 2 years. He can no longer, to this day, a man who served his country for 15 years, defend his family with a firearm because he's a convicted felon. They'll give him his voting rights back, but not the right to defend his family. So here's why we're telling you this. The president, on his last day in office, is expected to announce a series of pardons before he leaves on Wednesday. Some news reports tell us that he will pardon the rapper Lil Wayne on a firearms charge. We don't know if that's true or not. We don't even have an opinion on that. But we do know if he wants a lasting historical effect on this country in the closing days of his administration, he can achieve a major victory for the principles that this country was founded on and that make it a good place to live. And the first one of those is freedom of the press, freedom of speech. No one else in the media feels like arguing for it. It doesn't matter. It's still true, and we should still defend it. And he should pardon Julian Assange, and he should pardon John Kirikou.